In today's video, I'll share my most valuable editing tips and tricks with you that help me become a faster and more efficient video editor. I edit about 80% of the projects we're hired for, since I'm a very fast and efficient editor. But this didn't happen overnight. I've edited hundreds of videos ever since I started 7 years ago. So let's dive right in and not waste any time. Setting up your keyboard shortcuts is essential to speeding up your editing workflow. If your keyboard shortcuts aren't set up the way mine are, you can easily change that by clicking on Edit and go down to Keyboard Shortcuts. Or press STRG/Command+Alt and K. So let's start with the one I use the most, Q and W. If you want to trim down a clip at the beginning and end, you could use your mouse to do so. Or you could use Q and W. Q deletes everything before and W everything after the playhead. Less clicks, more efficiency. A. If you want to select everything in your timeline, press STRG or Command+A. If you want to select everything from a certain timestamp, press A once and use your mouse to tell Premiere Pro which part of your timeline you want to select and drag somewhere else. S. Pressing S on your keyboard toggles the Snap in Timeline tool on and off. Sometimes I don't want the clip to snap onto the next clip, and that's when I turn off Snap in Timeline. G. Pressing G opens up the Audio Gain tab. Here I can quickly adjust the audio gain of my audio files. If you want to change the audio gain of multiple audio files at once, just select the ones you want to adjust, press G, and adjust them all at once. Hashtag. If you want to get an overview of your timeline, you can easily do that by pressing hashtag. If you press it again, you'll jump right back to where you were before. Plus and minus. By pressing plus and minus, you can zoom in and out in multiple steps. N. Let's say you slowed down your footage to 50% and want to apply Warp Stabilizer. If you try that, Premiere Pro will tell you that Warp Stabilizer and speed can't be used on the same clip. But if you press N to nest your slowed down clip first, you can apply Warp Stabilizer without any issues. C and V. C is to select the razor tool and V to activate the selection tool. F12. F12 is set to toggle on and off full screen mode. U. This key is set to maximize the currently selected work area. This comes in handy if you have a huge timeline, for example, and want to see it on the whole screen. Ö. I set this key to synchronize audio clips. Most of the time I record audio separately using a dedicated audio recorder, but I also record reference audio using the internal audio recording of my camera. And by selecting both clips and pressing this key, I can synchronize them. And lastly, STRG or Command+M. This opens up the export settings. But instead of pressing export, I press Q to open up the media encoder. One of the most annoying things to me is waiting for a video to be exported. But if you use Media Encoder, you can still edit in Premiere Pro while Media Encoder is exporting your video. Bonus tips. Create a favorite effects bin. By doing that, you'll always have all of your most used effects in one place instead of searching through the Effects tab every time. Depending on the project, the timeline of a video can be quite overwhelming. And to make sure I don't forget to add, change, or do things, I add labels to my timeline by using this icon right here. I can also change the color of the label and add text. Create different timeline tabs. Instead of using only one timeline for all of your raw footage, your B-roll, A-roll, and so on, create multiple timeline tabs by pressing STRG or Command+N. This opens up a new sequence window where you can choose your settings and name it how you want to. So those are my tips and tricks to becoming faster and more efficient when it comes to video editing. Of course, there's much more I could talk about, but I'll save that for future videos. Feel free to share your favorite editing tips and tricks in the comments down below. I'm always looking to learn new things to make my workflow more efficient. But that's it for today's video. If you learned something, drop me a like. Until next time. Peace.